It started like any other night. My husband and I were asleep, the quiet of the house wrapping around us. Then I woke up. Something wasn't right. A soft, shuffling sound came from the living room. My heart pounded. The attic door. We always kept it shut, but tonight, it was moving. From across the room, I could see a figure. Someone standing there trying to shut the door. A man in a white shirt holding a dustpan, his back to me. He wasn't even looking at the door, just focusing on the handle. I shook my husband, whispering, "Wake up! There's someone at the attic door." He groggily mumbled, "Go back to sleep." But then he heard the noise. He froze. "What is that?" he asked, his voice sharp now as he blinked at the figure in the dim light. "Look," I said, pointing. But when he turned to face the man, his eyes went wide. That's me." The figure was identical to my husband, but there was something off about him, something wrong with the way he moved. He backed up the attic stairs, still trying to close the door. My husband ran to confront him, but as he approached, the stranger spoke in his own voice, saying, "I live here." Panic gripped us both. The other man didn't seem to care that he was being confronted. He simply backed up, slowly climbing the stairs until, with a soft click, the attic door closed. The moment the clock struck midnight, he vanished into thin air. We couldn't sleep after that. The silence of the house felt wrong. But as the hours dragged on, the terror came again. It was just past noon when I entered the living room, my mind still spinning. And then, there on the floor near the attic door, a baby, staring up at me with wide, unblinking eyes. Before I could react, the attic door creaked open. And that's when I saw her. A girl, floating down the stairs in a yellow dress, her eyes pale, her skin cut and bruised. She looked like something from a nightmare. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. And then, without warning, she lunged at me. My husband charged in, shoving her away, and the moment she touched the floor, she disappeared. I stood there, shaking, gasping for air. What was happening? The clock struck midnight again, and this time it was worse. We were no longer at our house. We were at my grandma's. But everything was wrong. The layout, the air, the walls, all of it was different. In the living room, my grandfather stood there, his face twisted in anger. "Get out," he growled. "This isn't your home." I froze. "But I live here," I protested. "This is my house. You don't belong here," he snapped. And then he vanished. I turned to see my sister and nephew lounging on the bed as if nothing had happened. But their clothes were old, like from the 1920s. My heart skipped. "What are you doing here?" I asked, my voice trembling. "We live here," my sister replied, as if I were the one out of place. I felt dizzy, the world shifting beneath me. "No, I live here. I've lived here for years." Her expression faltered. "It's 1920, she said. "You should go." I ran, panic rising in my throat. The house, our house, had changed. It was like walking through a time capsule, each era bending around us. With every midnight, a new time, a new set of people, and a new reality. And it doesn't stop. Not until you escape. I grabbed my husband. "We have to leave. Now. Before it's too late." But deep down, I couldn't shake the fear of what would come next. Would we end up in the future surrounded by strange, unrecognizable faces? What would happen? When the clock struck midnight again? I only knew one thing: time was shifting, and we were trapped in it. The next era might already be waiting for us.